Welcome to Fighting Stats, the ultimate channel for UFC fans who love statistics and betting breakdowns. I'm your host, Art C, and today I'll be getting you ready for the upcoming UFC fight. Here at FightingStats.com, we have exclusive UFC stats not available anywhere else. We can tell you how often a fighter throws that left hook or that right jab in southpaw, how often they move backwards, or how often they throw kicks. We have all of that information, but that is not all. In this series, I'll be watching tape and I'll give you my real-time analysis on how the fight's going to go. I'm going to watch for fighter strengths, weaknesses, tendencies, and overall strategies to give you my prediction on how I think the fight is going to go and ultimately who's going to win. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome to Fighting Stats. Welcome back to Fighting Stats. I'm your host, Art C, and today we are breaking down the UFC 302 fight between Kevin Holland and Michal Oleksiejczuk. All right, so this fight going to be pretty interesting, going to be pretty fun, honestly. Both guys technically strikers in my mind. Physicals, Kevin Holland going to have 3 inches of height and a big 7-inch reach advantage. So keep that in mind. Oleksiejczuk used to fight at light heavyweight, coming down to middleweight for this fight. So just going to briefly go over to some of the numbers there. Kevin Holland going to be a distance striker. 78% of his strikes going to come from a distance, 12% on the ground, and 10% in the clinch. Whereas his striking accuracy, 45% distance strike accuracy, 78% ground strike accuracy, and 74% in the clinch. In terms of his target breakdown, 71% targets towards the head at 39% head strike accuracy, 15% towards the body at 66% accuracy, and 15% leg target accuracy. Leg target percentage at 87% leg kick accuracy. Whereas the defensive side, Oleksiejczuk, 31% head strike defense. So Holland has 39% offensive head strike offense. Oleksiejczuk 31% strike defense towards the head. 84% of the strikes against are towards the head. Body strike defense 67% at 14% against, and a leg target against 3%, but 83% leg kick defense. So pretty close numbers there. Kevin Holland 5 knockdowns with a knockdown rate of 0.69%. That's only distance striking there. And then offensive takedowns for Kevin Holland. He's attempted 28 takedowns. 12 of them have been successful, so an overall accuracy of 43% for 1695 seconds of control, about 141 seconds of control per takedown. Does have 8 sub attempts and 3 reversals, and not bad there. In terms of takedown defense from Oleksiejczuk, 29 attempts seen. 16 of them have been successful, so an overall takedown defense of 55%. Decent control numbers allowed there as well. So Kevin Holland could pull in the grappling here in this fight. Never count him out to attempt a takedown against somebody like Michal Oleksiejczuk, especially with the forward pressure. Would not surprise me to see Kevin Holland try to grapple. Whereas if we flip the side here, so Michal Oleksiejczuk offensively striking, similar numbers here, going to be 83% distance striker, 4% in the clinch, 12% on the ground. Distance accuracy at 47%, striking accuracy at a distance, 89% in the clinch, 63% on the ground. In terms of target breakdown, 81% head hunter goes towards the head at 42% striking accuracy, 18% towards the body at 84% striking accuracy, and goes to the leg out only 1%, 89% strike accuracy. Whereas defensively, Kevin Holland's 37% head strike defense, 70% of the strikes landed going to be towards the head, 67% body strike defense, 19% of the strikes absorbed going to the body, and 91% leg kick defense, 11% of the strikes absorbed going towards the legs there. So doesn't look like Holland has to worry about the leg kicks much. Oleksiejczuk doesn't throw many leg kicks. But Oleksiejczuk does have 7 knockdowns with a knockdown rate of about 2.32. Pretty good knockdown right there. Again, it's just his forward pressure. He likes to throw bombs and try to get you down, knock you down sort of thing. Offensive takedowns for Oleksiejczuk's only attempted 8 attempts over his UFC career. 3 of them have been successful. Takedown accuracy accuracy about 38%, control per takedown 110, no sub attempts and 1 reversal. So overall for takedown defense for Trailblazer Kevin Holland, 42 takedowns allowed on 90 attempts, so 47% takedown defense. 17 submissions he's seen, 5 reversals. So Kevin Holland has shown, if there's a way to beat him, it's through the grappling, getting him down to the ground, submitting him. Whereas Oleksiejczuk does not look like he grapples too much, so Kevin Holland does not have to worry about that aspect here. So in terms of how we see the fight going, a couple of things happening here. I think Kevin Holland obviously going to have that 7-inch reach advantage. Going to be a big difference here in this fight. Oleksiejczuk going to be the one coming forward. He comes forward in almost all his fights. Big plotter throws with big power there. But Kevin Holland, honestly, I think he's been pretty durable in his UFC career, taking some big shots. I remember the spinning elbow by Michael Venom Page in that last fight there. Should have knocked down a bunch of people, but ate that clean. You can see in his record there, Kevin Holland, not a ton of knockdowns or KO losses against. Let me just briefly go over the record here. So loses to Michael Venom Page, which everybody does. Just a different puzzle to figure out, so that's fine. Goes to decision with Jack Della Maddalena. I give Jack the better striking than Michal Oleksiejczuk. That was a split decision loss. Before that, beats Michael Chiesa by choke. Knocks out Santiago Ponzinibbio in the third round. Loses to Stephen Thompson in a striking battle. That one, I think he broke his hand in the first round. One-arm fighter for that one. And then before that, got choked out by Chimaev. Took that fight on short notice. That's a fine loss there. Chokes out Tim Means. Defeats Alex Oliveira. No contest to Kyle Dawkins. Melvin Vittori, just a pressure fighter, goes to decision with Vittori. Goes to decision with Brunson. So some of these top names that Kevin Holland is losing to. Whereas if we go over to the Michal Oleksiejczuk side here, he lost to Michel Pereira there. Michel Pereira actually rocking him in that first round, landing the rear naked choke after that 1 minute into the fight. Before that, he got rocked by Chidi Njokuani as well. Stumbled back, eventually finding Chidi KOing him with 45 seconds left in round number 1. But again, he was losing the fight up until that point. Got choked out by Cal Baralho. And then, so his wins here are Chidi coming back from getting rocked. He beats Cody Brundage, it's Cody Brundage by KO round 1. Beats Sam Alvey by KO round 1. Again, those are not great wins. Shamil Gazatov and Modestas Bukauskas are his last 4 or 5 wins there. So, not the best record. Again, technically, I'm going to say Kevin Holland's the better technical striker. He's going to have more range, more length. Oleksiejczuk's going to have to close that distance, land some big shots, but Kevin Holland's eaten some big shots, very hard to be put away, very durable here. So I think Kevin Holland's will strike his way to probably a decision win. He can work in the grappling, get the fight down to the ground if the pressure becomes too much. But do keep an eye on Kevin Holland, his cardio. Never had any real cardio concerns, but Oleksiejczuk's going to come forward the 3 rounds. Pretty durable from both guys, so I can, again, see the fight going to decision. I can see Oleksiejczuk eventually landing a big shot on Kevin Holland, but Kevin Holland pretty durable, able to recover. I could see Kevin Holland landing a couple of big shots on Oleksiejczuk, but Kevin Holland doesn't have a ton of power, not a lot of one-punch power. He's more speed and volume, and Oleksiejczuk historically have been pretty durable, but we're seeing some signs in the most recent fights that Oleksiejczuk's been rocked a couple of times, so keep an eye on that. Overall, though, I do think I like the Kevin Holland side. I think he has more ways to win. I think his striking's more diversity. I see more Michal Oleksiejczuk, more of a plotter coming forward, having to land the bigger shots. So I think Kevin Holland has the volume. I think he has the grappling upside. I think he has the cardio upside as well. Giving Kevin Holland to win by decision, that's my pick. So that's why I think it's going to happen. So judging by the lines, it really depends on where the line's at or where the props open. We'll get to a side there. Let me pull that up here. All right, so I pulled up my handy dandy tracker here. Let's talk it out through real time here. What I like to do is I like to go through the various outcomes of the fight, assign a percentage there, and it tells me where the best bets are, where the value bets are, and my overall predictions here. So I put Holland on the blue side, Michal O on the red side. Good luck spelling that last name, Oleksiejczuk. But Holland to win by TKO. I do think it's possible. Michal's been rocked a couple of times the last couple of fights. Holland to win by TKO. Especially in the later rounds. I'm going to give it 20%, we'll say, for now. See where we end up. Kevin Holland to win by submission. I do think it's possible as well. He does go to some chokes. He does go to some grappling. Oleksiejczuk pretty durable on the ground. So I think the submission is live. I'm going to put 15% to win by submission. Kevin Holland to win by decision. I think it's the most likely outcome for him. I think he controls him. I think he lands the bigger shots there. 35% for now sounds about right. I'm going to put that for now. See what happens. Michal Oleksiejczuk to win by TKO. It's definitely possible. Probably his most likely path to victory. It's going to come from forward pressure, throwing some bigger shots. Just Kevin Holland hasn't been rocked or really, dropped too often. Been pretty durable. So 15-20% sounds about right. I'm going to go 20% for now. Oleksiejczuk to win by submission. I'm going to put 0%. I think that's fine. I don't think he grapples enough to get Holland down to the ground. I know Kevin Holland does have a weakness towards grapplers. I just don't think Oleksiejczuk's that guy to submit in. And then Oleksiejczuk to win by submission I have at 10-15%. Let's go 15%. I think it's, a little bit more. So I was going to say 10%. Okay, let's go 10%. Okay. Okay, so let's recap here. Kevin Holland to win by KO, 20% plus 400 or better. Kevin Holland to win by submission, 15% or plus 567 or better. Kevin Holland to win by decision, 35% or plus 186 or better, for a total money line of 70% minus 233 or better. Whereas on the Michal Oleksiejczuk side, Michal to win by TKO, 20% plus 400 or better. Michal to win by submission, 0%. And a win by decision, 10% plus 900 or better, for a total money line of 30% or plus 233 or better. I don't think some of the props are up, but I want to see the lines. I don't remember where the line is at. Kevin Holland right now, minus 260. Best line available, minus 225. Let's go with minus 238 at DraftKings here for the sake of argument. So minus 238, and look at that. Pretty much spot on. Michal Oleksiejczuk to win. His numbers plus 220 on Bet Online is best number available. On DraftKings plus 195. So I'll just quote that for our calendar criterion, 195 here. So looks like these numbers are pretty spot on. That's probably where I think the line is. I do agree with it. Again, I said it's plus minus 233 or better. Current line at DraftKings is minus 238. So pretty much where we think the line should be. Again, Kevin Holland to win by decision is the most likely outcome. So that's my pick here. In terms of Kelly Criterion Bet, it's not telling me to bet on anything in terms of money line. I think the lines are a little bit accurate, so we'll keep an eye on it, on that line, see where it goes. I know that Kevin Holland was a little bit cheaper earlier in the week there, so if you got some early numbers, good for you. It's moved out to minus 238. I'm not jumping out of my seat to play it, but I do think that's probably the side. I might play some props as well. If I do end up playing anything, I'll post it over to patreon.com/FightingStats. That's where I put all of our plays, our long shot parlays, shoot for the moon parlays, things like that. So check that out. You won't want to miss that. My name is Artsy, and this is Fighting Stats. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching. All right, guys. Well, that is it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this type of content, make sure you smash the like button, hit the subscribe. You'll get notified anytime we put out new content. Listen to this. We just hit a massive parlay for $29,000 at UFC 297. That is one UFC after 296 where we hit a parlay for $82,000. That's back-to-back parlays. We've made $110,000. And how do we do it? We use our exclusive fighting stats, not available anywhere else. Our exclusive fighting stats gives us information, gives us a big edge over the sportsbooks, and tell us what's going to happen within the fights. We post all that information, our breakdowns, our best bets, over at patreon.com/FightingStats. Don't miss out. Make sure you subscribe today. Again, my name is Art C. This is Fighting Stats. Thanks for watching.